That brings it back to things that we've spoken about before, where often how you're feeling, how things are going in your waking state is going to translate into your dream state, and sometimes even more intense, especially if you're stressed, then you're probably going to have more stressful dreams. And this is a little bit of a sidebar from our experiment, but I think it's an important thing to note because it is related to intention. So, I guess she would be technically my niece or future niece. She often suffers from night terrors, and she'll wake up in the middle of the night, will walk in, basically sleepwalk, won't know where she is, and sometimes will be screaming. It's just quite quite disruptive to her sleep. And it's been a constant thing since she was a very young girl. She's about 10 years old now, so still suffering with it. And so she came to stay over the holidays with the family. And the first night she had night terrors, woke up in the middle of the night, ended up coming in our bedroom, flicking on the light at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Just very disruptive sleep situation. And so I was talking to my mother-in-law about it the next morning, and got talking to her about our podcast and dreams, and just really focusing on how things that go on during your waking days can translate into your sleep state. And so then that night, she had a lot of conversations with her granddaughter and was really focusing on positive thinking and, not thinking about anything negative that may be going on, but really focusing on, the excitement for the holidays and opening gifts and, all those positive things that could come for her. And from that moment forward, and she stayed with us for another few days, she had no night terrors whatsoever, where it's normally like a nightly thing for her to have night terrors. So just thought that was a nice little thing to tie in there about intention.
Yeah, that's cool. And the more I listen to, like, even just us having chats and then listening to other people, like, I'm finding, you have to have a real focus in life to help you, like, because if you're giving your power away outside of you constantly, then you're less likely to be in control of your life and then your dreams. So that's what lucid dreaming is. Like, you're being in control of your dream. So if you're not in control in your life, uh, there's no chance of you being able to lucid dream. Well, easy enough. Like, it'd probably be a real struggle. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, the
So,
intention was so it was literally night and day for me, with the reduced sugar, no food after 6 p.m., and then having the intention. I remember that my dreams were quite vivid in both scenarios. So I will say that for me personally, the vividness of my dreams didn't really change. So that's just integral to, I guess, my dream state in general. The food didn't seem, or lack thereof of sugar and intention or no intention didn't really affect the vividness, but the randomness, I would say, drastically changed from intention versus no intention. I felt that when I woke up after going to sleep with no intention, and I would like, okay, was there a message in that dream? Is there something I can learn from the dream? And just nothing intuitively came up. It was more like kind of just storing of memories, I would say, which is a useful thing, but it just didn't seem to have any purpose. But when I had the intention, there were little things that popped up like, oh, that's something I can focus on, or that's something that, you know, it was less random. Definitely is what came through for me.
yeah, okay. Well, it's interesting. I was listening to a video yesterday and also just before, and something that this gentleman mentioned, and it really like stuck with me, is if you want to understand your dreams, you need to question your life when you're awake. So question your reality, like your life, like so because they're one of the same, like it's still part of you when you're dreaming. It's still you. So you need to be, if you're just living your life just without any questions, then it's, it's hard to understand your dream. So it's good to question yourself when you're awake. So yeah, it's doesn't mean you're going to get the answer straight away, but starting that questioning, why is this the way it is, and trying to understand it. And I feel like I've been doing that all my life, just questioning, pushing back, and to like things that have been presented to me and like, why is it like this? Why does it have to be like this?
Hmm.
It just felt like a lot of things growing up, opinions and like you have to do this. And I always used to say to my family, like, there's no book on life, you
Yep.
know? So why do we have to do it this way? We can't do it another way, Why do we have to all be the same? Because we're definitely not. So
Absolutely. That
yeah.
resonates with me so strongly, and it kind of reminds me of an ex that I dated a number of years ago. And they were very much, how do I say this? I guess kind of traditional, and traditional in the way that, adults are supposed to act a certain way and kids are supposed to act another way. And I think a lot of it was put onto him by his parents, but he very much was upholding those teachings, I guess is what you call it. And I'm I'm a free spirit. I like to have fun. I like to go on adventures. And to me, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you enjoy doing something and it makes you happy, go do it. Like, what stops you? And one of the things that I really enjoy doing as an adult and also when I was a kid is I like to go to a playground or a park and just swing on a swing set. There's just something that's very calming and peaceful to just literally be, to fly through the air basically. It just really, I find it very relaxing, and it's just a nice experience. And I remember seeing, I don't know, going somewhere with him and seeing some swing sets. I'm like, oh, we should go on the swings. And right away he's like, well, we're not kids. Why would we go play on the swing set? That's adults don't do that. And I was like, well, who says adults can't do that? And so that um your comment just now really reminded me of that little story.
Yeah, that resonates so much. I think the same, and I'd probably sometimes would be that person that like that's what kids do, and then I pull myself up. I'm like, hang on, like we are just kids, just grown up, really. Like we still, we've
We're
still got that inner child that we need to have fun and may look different as we get older and more capable of doing more complex things, but we still need to have that fun. So yeah,
Yeah,
like
absolutely. And we're just kids stuck in adult bodies, unfortunately, is really what it is. But like I can proudly say that, okay, so we're talking about reduced sugar for our experiment, and I said that I only got through like a week and a half, and that's because we started this right before the holidays. And I remember texting you and be like, I'm gonna have to put the experiment on hold. There's no way that I can go through the holidays without eating sweets because, there's nice pies and cookies and things that are in all the chocolate that you get. And like there's just no way. We just gotta put the experiment on hold. And lo and behold, my in-laws, their wedding anniversary is actually Christmas Eve. And as part of that, we always get an ice cream cake to celebrate. And they had this massive ice cream cake that just it was too much cake for the amount of people that were eating it. So it just was being left in the freezer, not being eaten. And so I think it was my last day there at the in-laws. I was like, you know what? It's like I'm gonna have ice cream cake for breakfast because we need to eat this ice cream cake. And so I'm like eating this massive bowl of ice cream cake at like 10 o'clock in the morning. My fiance gets up and comes down. He's like, "What are you eating?" And he realizes, he's like, "Oh my gosh, you really are eating ice cream cake." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, this is an adult breakfast.